Studio 41 Football Recap Live is brought to you by Studio 41 Home Design Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Vertical, in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. Verticalchimney.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Hooters. At Hooters, originality isn't just one thing, it's everything. World-famous wings and more, served up by the iconic Hooters girl. Hooters, always original. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper today at a McDonald's near you. Special Olympics Illinois. Special Olympics Illinois, so I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Apt. For the best appliances for football season, shop at Apt. Pleasing people since 1936. Find them at apt.com. Four Seasons, heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons. Hey, welcome into Studio 41 Football Recap Live here at Hooters in Orland Park. I'm David Kaplan. That is former Bears star Tom Waddle, former Bears star Alex Brown. We got a great crowd on hand. We'll take your questions throughout the night and tell your friends we'll be at Hooters, different locations throughout the football season. This is Kesey. She is a Hooters calendar girl. She'll be back at our intermission, start our second half to tell us about some specials. So thank you for taking care of us today, Kesey. Appreciate you. All right.
Yes.
Okay, let's get right into this. Bears have won 4 consecutive games. It's our Four Seasons game day breakdown. They win again. This one is 26-14 over the Saints. Tommy Waddle. The Chicago Bears found a running game at the bye week. Why?
I think there's a number of reasons. I think that this coaching staff is very good at identifying things that they need to fix. And I think at the bye, they identified some stuff. I think it's also, this offensive line, especially on the interior, hadn't played a lot together. So they found their rhythm, I think, kind of like a symphony, finding, each other's, rhythm and notes. So I think they're playing well. I think you've got willing participants with your tight ends and your wide receivers. So when you get to the second and third level, there's space to run. And I think like the Saints, I thought the Saints came out and decided that the best way to slow down this offense was to defend the pass. And they played a little bit of a light box consistently across the game, and they took advantage of it. But they're playing well. It's a good game plan. I think you're seeing also that DeAndre Swift is very good on the perimeter, much more so than running between the tackles. And I think Cap, like everything, I think it's a combination of a lot of stuff. They spent a ton of money on the interior of that offensive line trying to secure some things, and I think that group is really playing well together. And as I mentioned, the game plan's good, and it just makes me smile when I see a Bears football team that's being led by their running game and their defense. It just, it feels like the old days.
It's like Lovey or Ditka days.
That's right.
What'd you think of it?
Coming out of the bye week, I mean, that's what you want. You want to make sure we're figuring out what's wrong with us, like almost self-scouting type of deal. I think what they found out was that they don't have any animals up front that can just move grown men. You need a certain attitude to be able to move a grown man that don't want to be moved, right? So once you figure you don't have that, okay, stop calling the plays that require that, right? And now you give them a different way to block. If you watch, I mean, I know you guys watch the game, but watching the game, you see defensive tackles getting up the field and they're just running off the butt of the guard or running off the butt of the tackle because it's more position to me. What I see is it's more position blocking than just moving a guy off the ball. That works. I mean, hell, we watched Shanahan them do it out in Denver forever. That whole 1 foot in the dirt, cut it back type of deal. That's not you don't have offensive linemen that move people. They had 305-pound offensive linemen. So as long as you can identify what you have, and
it's a zone scheme, isn't it?
It's a zone scheme.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah, zone scheme. So I think they did a good job of that. And this game right here, what you said, Water, was so good because I've gotten so many tweets about, oh, here's Caleb. He's back to doing it. Well, he wasn't required to do anything. Like, what running the football was the way to win this football game. So we did that, right? So when he's required to do it, I think he has the ability to do it. So it's good to have a coaching staff that sees that and stays with what's working.
So I didn't think Caleb played especially well. However, you did have a lousy OPI call on Colston Loveland. Did you think that was a good call?
No, it was a horrible call.
So takes away a completion there. And then Rome drops one probably 18 yards down the field. Right there, gets hit in the back. Ball can. You want to be a number one receiver, son? You got to hang on to those footballs.
I mean, I've said that a bunch. I like Rome. I think he is going to develop into a true one. But there have been a number of situations, a number of plays this year where you were a little disappointed that he didn't come up with the catch. I think he has been a more willing participant in the blocking aspect of what he's asked to do in the running game. So was
Colston last week.
Yeah, I think they all have. I think they got the message. You know, they all got the message after the second week of the season when they got boat raced by the Lions. Mm-hmm. And the coach came out and said, look, we don't practice like champions and the effort isn't there. And I think you've seen in the subsequent 4 weeks from there, you've seen a group, especially on offense, guys are much more willing to give you that intensity and that little extra effort. Mm-hmm. I think it's the reason why, you know, that the running, as I mentioned earlier, the running game's working.
Let me teach you something about this guy. He had the best hands I've ever seen. And his father, Robert E. Lee Waddle, told him
he dropped E when he got out of high school. Yeah.
And he
came from the foothills of Kentucky, just for a little background information.
He told Tommy, son, you're going to get hit anyway. You may as well catch the football.
True. Yeah.
And so I said to Tom, what do you catch the ball with? Your body, your hands? He said, no, your eyes.
Yeah.
That's what you catch the ball. Mm-hmm. That dude would never drop a pass. If you
right.
had Rome's speed.
Oh, well, listen, you can't play that game.
Speed, I mean,
he's gonna get there. I mean, he's got. Here's the interesting reality. He has had moments this year where he hasn't made the contested catch. Do you realize that last year as a rookie, he ranked third in the National Football League in contested catch rate?
Wow.
And that's what he did at Washington his entire collegiate career as he went up and got the football. So the fact that he struggled with doing just that through the first 6 weeks of this season doesn't really concern me in a huge way because I've seen him succeed in those situations at a very high rate. So it's got to be cleaned up. But, you know, look, overall, I'm with you. I don't think Caleb played well. He hasn't completed 60% of his passes in each of the last 3 games. But they've found ways to win, and they haven't asked him to be the one, you know, carrying the heavy load at this point. So there will come a moment where when you step up in class, he's going to have to be the reason why you win and not just be part of the.
There's going to be games where he has to be the guy. Yeah. And I feel like this game in Baltimore this weekend, you might be able to run the football, but I think Caleb's going to have to play much better to win.
Yeah, he will. I mean, he's going to have to play better the better teams that you play. He will have to play better. I mean, it's the Baltimore Ravens are been crushed with injuries, right? But they're still a very, very talented football team, and their expectations has not changed. They still have a very good coaching staff over there. They will have a good game plan for him, and he will have to play at a high level to beat that. So I'm interested to see it. I hope we can run the ball because it's just the whole mentality of the Ravens over the years is being able to stop the run and playing tough-nosed defense. I think if you can go in there and you put up points on somebody, whether you can or can't do it, you feel like you can put up points on anybody if you put up that many points on the Ravens. So I hope they can continue this. I think they will. I think we will beat the Ravens. I mean, it'll be a high-scoring game, though, because I think Lamar is a problem. Yeah, Lamar's a problem. Derrick Henry's a problem. They haven't been throwing the ball very well, but I think they'll get it back. Lamar's coming back off an injury, right?
But he missed practice again yesterday.
Did he? So he's out, or
well, they're coming off the bye too, so I think that they're expecting that he's going to be available.
And Roquan did practice yesterday.
Yeah, I mean,
so
they're
he'll
getting
be back.
this is going to be as healthy as they've been all year. Look, they were a hot injured mess for quite some time. But as Alex was saying, look, there's tremendous pedigree there. They've averaged 12 wins a season the last 3 years. They've been in the postseason 6 of the last 7 years. And Lamar was playing really good football in the first 4 games he played before he got hurt. They have just been decimated by injuries. You're going to get your fullback back in Patrick Ricard, who's a multi-time Pro Bowler. You're going to get Roquan back. The secondary is intact. You're going to have a desperate 1-5 team that basically needs to win this, or they can kind of kiss their postseason hopes goodbye. They're very well coached. There's a ton of talent. It's a tough spot. Is it an insurmountable climb? No. I mean, I don't think there's any team in the National Football League that is unbeatable right now. I think it's a week-to-week league at this moment. I've just felt over the course of the last several years, you find out who's really all that probably in the second half of the season. That's where teams define themselves. But right now, anybody can beat anybody.
Watching the game the other day and seeing the Bears gashing the Saints, who have a pretty stout front four, especially getting pressured. The Cam Jordan and those guys, those are good football players. And seeing Colston Loveland block and seeing DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai, I haven't seen a Bears team look that aggressive running the football. I think they ran it 40 times.
They did.
Yeah, I've been out.
Phenomenal.
I've been out of football for a while. That's how long Cam Jordan has been in football. Okay, so
you probably played with him, didn't you?
I did. My last training camp was his first training camp. Yeah. So another Hall of Famer that they had to bring in to get rid of me. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Cam Jordan, but he's not 5 years ago Cam Jordan. You know, I think what they did to the Saints, they were supposed to do. Like, okay, this is not the Saints. If you wanna actually get in the playoffs and make some noise, make a little bit of noise, then you got to play better. Caleb has to play better. And I think he knows that, and I think he will.
All right, our apt player of the game. Make sure Olin Kreutz knows this. The offensive line is the player of the game, brought to you by abtapp.com. There's your promo code on screen. Recap 25, save you $25. Any purchase 150 or more. 40 carries, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack allowed. Swift 19 for $124 and a touchdown. Monungai 13 for 81 and a touchdown. App pleasing people since 1936. Okay, is it as simple as Theo Benedett has shored up left tackle, or are they doing something different? Dan Roshar and his guys have gotten that O-line, Tommy, to look a whole lot better.
Well, I think, Alex talked about it. They've seen what they're capable of and what they're not really good at. They don't match up well in terms of just man-on-man blocking. Like, they run the zone scheme very well. They do a really good job getting to the second level. I think Dolman has shown you that, what his specialized skill set is.
Yeah, one of them's not snapping the ball on time.
Well, that's
what has he got? Stick him on his hands?
But I thought we were accentuating the positive of rushing for 222 yards.
I do have to see him.
I have no idea. There's no way he's got stick him on his hands, because the official spots the ball in every play and would notice that you don't double clutch ever. Right. Even if you're off, your count is off, you still have to snap the ball. But anyway, I just think that offensively the game plan's been really good. They identified, 2 weeks ago against the Commanders that they were stout in the middle. They weren't as good on the edge, on the perimeter, so they attacked the perimeter, and they're very good. There's some accomplished players in the center of that offensive line. I didn't think Theo was very good this week. In fact, if that was Braxton Jones, you'd be calling for him to be benched. But it was Theo's second start. He got dog walked back into Caleb's lap 2 or 3 times. He had a couple of false starts, so it wasn't his best effort. But collectively, that group is really starting to come together. And as I said, the tight ends have helped, and so have the wide receivers.
I'm so glad I didn't play offensive line. You play 70 plays, you do 2 things wrong. Boy, he is horse shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I can play as a defensive end. I can play 65 snaps, do absolutely nothing on 62 of them,
and get
and
2
be
sacks
in the paper tomorrow.
brown
page.
stars
Yes.
and Bears.
Right.
That's why left
It's
tackles are
crazy.
paid $25 million a year when they're good.
True.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Wow.
Right. Because who was the kid last year in the Will Campbell, I think, who went to New England?
Yeah.
He-
Oh,
LSU
the
kid.
LSU kid. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, he goes, if you're a tackle and you allow 2 sacks a game and you're great on every other thing, you're probably getting benched. You're working at UPS. You get 2 sacks a game, you're a first-round draft pick.
That's right. Yes. You might be top
Nature
2.
of the beast.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah.
Nature of the
Crazy.
beast.
All right,
It
let's
is.
talk about Caleb Williams. Here's his numbers. Caleb Williams winging it. Brought to you by our great partners at Hooters. We're in Orland Park. Place is packed. Food's outstanding. So check out your local Hooters. 11 locations. OriginalHooters.com. Caleb Williams, 15 of 26, a $172, 1 interception, 4 runs for -2 yards. And Ben Johnson said after the game, he's got to use his legs. There were opportunities to make plays with his legs, and he didn't. I was watching the All-22, the interception that he threw. Tommy, you watched the All-22.
It was late and it was to the wrong shoulder.
Well, he also, if you freeze it, he's
Well, you
got
could throw the under route as well.
Colston Loveland
Yeah.
here, check down to Kyle Monungai here,
Yeah.
and DJ Moore, 22 yards down the field, wide open. and
Yeah,
he
but
never
I mean,
looks at
like,
him.
look, I don't have a problem with him throwing it to where he threw it. He threw it late. He threw it behind him. I mean, that's just, he knows that. And that there was a clouded look because they had a guy in the flat. Usually when you run that deep out, a lot of times there's nobody underneath it. So it's just your sight line is the wide receiver in the corner. This time he had a guy, it was his own, to me, it looked like it was his own, coverage underneath. And he could have dumped it off to the flat guy, but he threw
he
a bad
could have
ball.
gone to Loveland more, or he
Yeah,
could have
threw a
dumped
bad
it off
ball.
to Monungai.
Sounds like everybody was open except
Yeah.
for the guy that he threw it to.
Exactly. The guy that he threw to was, he just got it. He threw it to the back shoulder. He threw
And
it
he was
late.
late.
Yeah. I mean,
Gosh.
If
It
if he
happens.
rips it early, he's got him.
see, the thing that's frustrating is you see him make that throw, and he'll make it 95 times out of 100.
Mhm.
But playing quarterback in this league is really hard, especially when there's a bunch of big guys trying to rip your head off.
Yes.
And he just threw it a little late, a little behind, and the guy made a play.
Why do you think that he has had so many passes tipped by defensive linemen? We saw Max Crosby at least twice, and he picked one of them.
Mhm.
Chase Young was all over his ass. It was unbelievable, and he almost picked one. Why?
Because defensive linemen are smart. When they can't get there, we get our hands up. Like, I'm not playing into, he's too small or he's this. No, I just think guys make a play. Honestly, I think probably 40% of those times, the defense end just throws his hands up and hope the ball hits him in
Please
the
let
hand.
it hit me.
Yeah, like
Right.
something, right? Like I think all of this is just learning. Like, we have to understand he is in his second year in 6 games
Into a
7
new
games
system.
Into a
So
new
do you
system.
believe this is his rookie year?
No,
Because
I
last year was so bad.
don't believe that.
I'm talking about the clown show that was going on.
Mm-mm. I ain't believe it when Justin was here.
Yeah.
I don't believe it now. No, he learned something
Yeah.
last year. He got experience last year. No, it's not his rookie year. No, I don't think so.
I'm with you 100%. I don't think it is either. Was it dysfunctional? Yes, but Alex is 100% right. You learn the speed of the game. You learn, the tendencies of different defenders, especially in your own division. So it wasn't a wasted year.
Mhm.
I think that's giving somebody a pass. And I don't think Caleb would want you to give him a pass. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about him is that he's very self-aware. He's the one, you can be pissed at me for saying he didn't play well. I'm just repeating what he said after the game,
Right.
And that's what you want. You want somebody who's,
Takes
head isn't in the
accountability.
clouds. Yeah, and he's very
Takes
accountable and he's very
accountability.
self-aware.
Okay, I've got some listener questions that are here in the audience. What is the biggest difference you two see between last year's 4-2 start and this year's 4-2 start? Because Matt Eberflus is sitting in Dallas going, oh, hold on a second. We were 4-2 last year too. What's different?
I think we started out 0-2, and they could have easily quit. I think it shows a different grit to come back off of that. I remember my rookie year going down to Champaign, and we started out 2-0, and then we lost 9 games in a row, and we couldn't stop it. Right? You have to stop the bleeding at some point, and that shows a lot of character on this football team. I think that comes from the coaching staff. I mean, just look at those coaches, the amount of energy. They have not changed at all the entire time. Where they were 0-2, now they're 4-2. They have not changed. So I think it comes from the coaches, and that spills off into the players. It's just a certain expectation that they're building, and they're feeling like what's required is required every day.
It's also a better roster.
Well, the talent's better. Yeah, the talent's better.
Yeah, you spent more money. You've had more draft picks. But, I mean, the one thing I was willing to guarantee anybody before the season started was they were going to be significantly better coached on both sides of the ball. I love that they have former players who have all been coaches for years. It's not just, hey, I played in the league and I want to coach some this year. No, Al Harris has been coaching in this league for a long time. Yes. So has Antoine Randall. So has Eric Bieniemy. So these are guys that are great, not only fantastic former players, they're good teachers, and they have a passion for getting guys better. I'm with Alex. I think that they're significantly better coached. They know how to – I mean, when's the last time you saw a Bears team come out of the bye and have answers to the questions? They addressed their issues. They couldn't run the ball. They came out, and now they're the 8th best rushing attack in the league. Will that diminish a little bit as time goes on? I don't know. They average 129 rushing yards per game. They were hot garbage the first couple of weeks. They found some answers to the questions. Same thing on defense. I don't know if their front four is ever going to pressure opposing quarterbacks.
No.
Consistent.
Sweat has been better the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they had 4 sacks this weekend. Brisker had 1, Gordon had 1, Edmonds had 1, and Swift got him when he was going. Sweat had him when he was going, was on a scramble drill.
Yep.
They're not creating, but Dennis Allen's putting together a game plan to find a way to make plays and take the ball away. So
I think we just got to be real. Like, the sacks is getting him to the ground, right? Sweat is getting a ton of pressure. Yeah. He's getting a ton of pressure on him. I think he's last week against Washington, I thought he had bad angles at the quarterback, but he was after the quarterback. So pressure sometimes helps, and the sacks will come. Sacks come in bunches. I hope they feel that way. But I just don't think we have the guys to do that, or this is the defense to do that. I saw them stop the run, which I was very, very surprised.
They choked off the run, 44 yards rushing it.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that.
Like Alvin Kamara, and it was Ben Johnson said yesterday it was the most physical game of the 6 they played by far. And I thought they did a great job getting Alvin Kamara to
every week's a new challenge.
Yeah.
This week you get Derrick Henry. You got to hit him and hold on. He still averages 5 yards a carry. I mean, it's a challenge. And if Lamar's healthy, he adds another element. I thought the most impressive thing I've seen from their defense this year was how they contained the Commanders' rushing attack. They were so disciplined on the edge. Like, they at no point did Jaden Daniels ever beat them running that read option. Now, he scrambled and got some.
He's
some
good
plays.
at it.
Right, but when they had designed quarterback runs, they were so disciplined. And again, I think it's a good sign that they're being very well coached.
I think they are. I think we had a really good coaching staff and a coaching staff that relays the game plan, and these guys accepts the game plan, and they implement the game plan on the field. Now, if you get beat, you get beat. But like what you're saying, like a defensive end going up the field and containing the quarterback, but the quarterback beating him underneath, that's totally different than you allowing him to get outside and you not doing your job.
All right, I want to talk about the play of the game, our Dr. Pepper play of the game. Ben Johnson's successful challenge of the Taysom Hill illegal lateral to Alvin Kamara in the 4th quarter. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears, pleasing your taste buds. It's $18.85. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper at a McDonald's near you. That challenge, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, that's illegal. I was yelling it, and you saw the official throw his flag immediately, right there. And then the referee comes out and says, there is no foul for an illegal forward pass. And I'm like, what? And then they said Ben Johnson threw the red flag almost to midfield. He was so mad, and he got it right. Was that the key play of the game?
I mean, I would prefer to choose a Swift touchdown run or maybe one of the interceptions.
But that was a 35-yard game.
No, I know,
in a
but
6-point game.
Don't mean they're gonna score.
Yeah,
Them points on the board, Cap.
Yeah,
Touchdown's a touchdown.
yeah. How about a DeAndre Swift touchdown run would have been the play of the game. I was surprised after on the field they called it a fair, legal play. I was a little surprised because I never saw like a camera angle right down the line. My fear is that they were going to tell you they didn't have enough evidence to overturn the call on the field. Fortunately, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it was a great.
But yeah,
challenge.
I would have said,
They get on my
one of the
nerves there.
interceptions or a touchdown run would have gotten my nod.
I would have too. They don't. I mean, it bothers me.
I'm
It don't
a little
bother
more
you.
analytical than you two.
Stop it. It doesn't bother anybody that they have 612 cameras at the game, but you
none
can't,
right down the line.
You can't find the angle. Come on, man. Like, get it right. Get the call right every time.
And they did. Okay, Nick Capitan is here from the Chicago White Sox, by the way. Nick wants to know what are areas of need that the Bears should address before the trade deadline. Would you trade draft capital to address those needs?
Wow.
Because Tom Pelissero this afternoon threw cold water on the Max Crosby getting traded rumors because the Raiders called Crosby into a meeting today.
Can I ask you, Cap?
And
You were the
said,
one.
You're not being traded.
You were clamoring for them to trade for a running back 2 weeks ago. And now DeAndre Swift has had back-to-back 100-yard games when Alex and I were both telling you it may not be a back issue. It may be that there's not a lot of space for any of these guys to run. Monungai also averaged over 6 yards per carry. Do you still want them to give up draft currency for a running back?
Brees Hall. Brees Hall. I think that's what you said, Brees
I
Hall,
did.
right? Okay.
I absolutely did. Probably not, because I would give that draft capital up to get myself a rush edge.
Oh, no.
Where are you going to get a rush edge? Where?
Trey
What are
Hendrickson
you
from
going
the
to give up?
Bengals.
Hold on, whoa. What do you think you're going to have to give up for
He's
Brees Hall? A third? I mean, you're not going to give up anything that high.
for Brees Hall, the
Yeah.
running back.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm not
Because you
doing
got to
that
sign him.
because Trey Hendrickson's on a 1-year deal with no ability to tag him. They
Okay.
made him a promise
Oh,
in
so
the
you
deal.
want a defensive end?
Yeah, and then I'm going
He
to sign
finally
him.
got himself straight. Yeah.
Mm.
He
I'm going
finally
to sign him
understands the
to an
game.
extension.
If he
I didn't know they were going to fix the running game at the bye. They did.
But they still need a running back. Okay, they still need a running back. I
I'm
think
going to
Swift
draft
can do the
Jeremiah
job.
Love.
Yes, and I think you'll have at that point. You'll have exactly what Detroit has. Not exactly. Okay, we saw Jameer Gibbs has a gear.
Yeah.
He has 22 miles an
Yeah,
hour
I
in
went-
those legs.
I went back
How many people
yesterday
have that?
before the game, and I pulled up Brad Holmes, their GM, and they show him in the draft room that night, and they're picking 12. 11 is Tennessee, and he's like praying. He's like this. You know, he's got somebody in mind.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans select Peter Skoronsky, and he goes, yes! And he grabbed the card and ran it to the guy. who was
They got
running it.
panned for that pick too.
Yes,
They thought
Oh,
he was.
did.
They drafted him way too high.
Yeah.
That kid is electric.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Oh, yeah. But no, they just got rid of a running back. Then they pick up Montgomery. Then they go draft Jameer Gibbs higher than a lot of people thought. But hey, man, listen, when you got a plan, you stick with your plan. So
He had a
It
plan,
worked.
and it,
Yeah.
it absolutely
working.
worked. So, what would you be willing to give up if Trey Hendrickson gets moved? Like if the Bengals lose again, who do they have this week? The Jets?
I don't know, but they just won.
They did.
And I think with Joe Flacco playing the way he played, and them hoping that Joe Burrow can come back, I think, especially in that division where I don't think anyone's really truly scared of these Steelers. I don't think anyone's willing to tap out right now. Do you?
I don't
Not
either.
the AFC North.
But
No, but
Waddle,
what
to
if
be
they-
fair, that's not the question, though.
Oh, well, you're saying
What
I don't
would you
think I
give
don't
up?
think they're going to trade him, but if they did, I'd give up something for him.
What would you give up?
What are you asking for?
A second.
If I could secure a contract extension with him, yes. Because my hope is I'm going to be a
Correct.
I'm going to be drafting 23rd, 22nd, 24th.
Correct.
So a late second round pick, you got it.
if he's signed to a how old is
3 year, he's 31.
Okay, so if he signed to a 4-year deal, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, I'd probably offer him 3.
Yeah.
Because he makes your team a lot better right away. So yeah,
He's a stud.
he is. He's really good.
Cap, I've been banging on that drum since
Yes.
before
What
the
about
season
Bradley
began.
Chubb?
Yeah. Who?
Bradley Chubb from the Dolphins.
What about him?
They may be willing to move him.
Really?
Uh-huh.
He's like 28, ain't he?
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
they're a horrible team. They're a dumpster fire.
Yeah, no, they are. They're horse shit. Yep. I'm sorry. My bad.
We're on YouTube. You can do that.
Okay.
Are you just being honest?
I mean, Tua is getting destroyed for his leadership.
Yeah, it's not.
He went to the mic and said, "Yeah, I got teammates that show up late for meetings or don't get there," and then he had to apologize to the team.
And then he threw 3 interceptions.
Correct. That thing's a train wreck.
Look, I think going back to the Bears as well, they may be willing to pick up a corner, especially, I don't know how badly Stevenson is banged up. Jalen, I wouldn't expect Jalen to come back this year. I don't know. I hope he does, but.
Man.
Jalen Johnson's an elite player that you're missing. Elite.
He's a good player. Good player.
Yeah. Man, if you ain't available, I'm sorry. I got a problem. I got a real problem
He had
now.
surgery. What do you want?
Listen, I need you to be available. That's what I need. You're not available now? When you had a contract, you was available. I need you available, man. That's all I'm saying.
This isn't a chronic thing. It was an acute injury.
Hey, listen. You talking to a guy that I ain't miss a game. So you're never getting any sympathy from me. Nothing. I'm sorry.
Were there mornings you woke up on a Sunday and went,
0. I was 100 miles an hour. Let's go.
Kerry, I don't know how I'm going to play.
Oh, yeah. No, not Sundays. No. But on Tuesday? Oh, my God. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Toward all Tuesdays?
Toward all Tuesday.
Did you ever have those days where you woke up and went, Car, I don't know how I can play?
I'm built like an English teacher.
Like a
But
Greek
yet,
god.
no, I'm built like an English teacher and played in the league. I mean, I had a lot of physical issues for sure. I couldn't for 6 weeks, the last 6 weeks of the 93 season, I couldn't play without taking Toradol in practice. This probably wasn't a good idea.
Does it feel good?
Well, it takes away the pain. It's not a narcotic though, so it doesn't make you like loopy. It alleviates the pain and allows you to do your job.
That's right. I don't feel nothing. You mean to tell me I can run into that wall and I ain't gonna feel a thing? Oh,
Or you mean he's gonna run at me and hit me? Okay.
I ain't gonna feel nothing.
There's a picture in Sports Illustrated, 2-page spread of Otis.
No, it was Wilbur Marshall when he was
Marshall
with the Redskins.
With the Redskins
planting my
him.
ass in the ground. Oh yeah. And the headline was capital punishment. Yeah.
Him getting body slammed.
Yeah.
Wait, what newspaper was this?
No, this was Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated?
Yeah.
Will you sign it for me? I'm gonna find it.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
I'm gonna get it.
He showed it to me one day. I'm like, that's the greatest picture ever.
Yeah.
And he's like in the air.
If you're Wilbur Marshall.
Wilbur is like,
Yeah, if you're me.
Right.
ready to put him through the ground.
Wow.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We have more to talk about, and I got a couple of interesting questions for these guys. If you have a question, you're here at Hooters in Orland Park, bring them up. We'll ask them. We'll be right back. We're at Hooters in Orland Park.
Our family had been talking about redoing the kitchen for a long time. Studio 41 had all the pieces I wanted.
With Studio 41, we found their prices competitive. They helped us stay on a budget.
They spent a lot of time with me in the studio, and I got to touch and feel things.
Our big fear was if you go online, who's standing behind the product? Studio 41 had the best selection, and they took her ideas and brought it to life.
It was everything I dreamed it could be.
Visit studio41.com to find a showroom near you.
Okay, we're just here for dishwashers.
Just a dishwasher.
We forgot the dishwasher.
He's good. Yeah.
All right, welcome back here to Hooters in Orland Park. It is time for our drive of the game, brought to you by our great partners at your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. It is a 5-play, 91-yard drive, took just 46 seconds. Spencer Rattler to Chris Olave, a 21-yard touchdown before halftime. Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. All right, we've got Kesey here. She's a Hooters calendar girl, and she works here in Orland Park. And she's going to tell us about some of the specials for football season. What do you got?
Yeah, so Hooters is the place to be for football season. We've got hot wings, we've got ice cold beer, a full bar, and of course, the best thing about it all, your favorite Hooter girls.
And you guys also give a lot back through the charitable work for breast cancer and a whole bunch of other different initiatives, right?
Yeah, of course. So it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we do a lot for that. So we've got different donations that we do. It's honestly a great way to show support in the fight against breast cancer. If you're interested, you can stop by your local Hooters to find out a way that you can help make a difference with that.
All right, crab legs, hot wings, and what is that over there?
We've got a nice juicy Hooter burger for you all. You can have it cooked any type of way that you like, and it can come with a side of fries or tots, and it's honestly delicious.
Kesey, thank you for your time.
You're so welcome. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
that's Kesey out here at Hooters in Orland Park. All right, I want to talk about the drive of the game. The defense is dominating. They are choking off the New Orleans Saints, and all of a sudden, what did I say it was, 46 seconds? Okay, how did they just look like they stopped playing? 46 seconds, down the field, touchdown, and all of a sudden, they have momentum.
Yeah.
What the heck happened?
Yeah, I mean, it happened. Honestly, like what we would go to is, well, they get paid too. You know what I mean? Like they're good too. You know, so it reminded me, honestly, what it reminded me of in that in the NFC Championship game when we are dominating that team, and then they drive down and they score just before halftime. That's what it reminded me of, and it's like, God dang, man, like, we did not really want them to score, but we couldn't stop them. I mean, they practice, and if you stop them 3 times in a row.
But that was Drew Brees. This is Spencer Rattler.
No, but yes, there's a difference, but they're still professionals, and like they still can beat you.
Do you know that the night the Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky, he got a text from
Yes, I did.
the person who was doing the drafting who said, "Hey, Alex, I just drafted the next Drew Brees." Is that true?
I know it's completely true. I text him when I saw
He
the pick.
said Drew Brees or Brew Drees. Who did he say?
He said, word for word, Alex, I think he's the next Drew Brees. Okay.
Wow.
Like, if you have a GM that drafts a kid and he says, I think he's the next Drew Brees, okay, let's go. Right? Until he's not Drew Brees.
Yeah.
That's tall timber.
And now he's doing commercials for the backup orderer in a drive-thru.
Yes.
Have you seen those?
You know,
He's
that's
great at it.
Yeah.
That's that's GM talk, but that's way too high of a bar to set for a young quarterback.
Yes.
Drew Brees is one of the best that's ever done it.
Yes,
so.
it is.
And listen, also, when you can't generate pressure with your front four and you have to bring blitzes, you do open yourself up to plays in the secondary.
100%.
I mean, you know, these guys are not superhuman.
And Chris Olave's a stud.
Yeah, he's got great speed. Shaheed's got great speed as well. Nashawn Wright is, you know, he's a backup, good player, has made plays, but, you know, look, you leave those guys in man-to-man coverage over a certain period of time, they're gonna make plays. As Alex said, they get checks too.
All right, Bobby and Wilmo are here, and they said we wanted Mike Vrabel as the coach for the Bears. Through 7 weeks, if the Bears had Vrabel, do you think we have the same record? And what are the differences in your guys' mind between Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson, good or bad? Thank you.
Just on the surface of it, I mean, Ben Johnson's I really don't know if I want to get a defensive-minded coach when I have the number 1 pick quarterback, right? I don't
That's
want
my
that.
guy over there. That's what he said.
So I don't want that because because the job at that point is to go get an offensive coordinator that can help this kid. If he actually helps this kid,
He's leaving.
he's gone. or you're going to do what Tampa Bay did and kick your head coach out of there and make the OC the head coach. So, like, it doesn't fit. So go get you an OC that is the head coach.
Okay, and then Mike Vrabel would say if he was sitting here, Drake May's playing like an MVP. It's working for us, and Josh McDaniels is not getting another bite at the head coaching.
That's fine. Like, and
no way.
And Mike Vrabel's done a fantastic job. I have no regrets at all that for the reasons Alex mentioned. They've invested so much on their offense. It's Caleb. You've drafted Rome with the 8th or 9th pick.
Darnell Wright at 10.
Yeah, you gave Cole $10 million. You gave DJ an extension.
27.5.
I mean, you've spent so much money on that side of the football and so many draft picks. I thought like Alex, I thought the right thing to do was bring in an offensive guy. And very infrequently do you find guys the quality of Ben Johnson that are available. So I give the Patriots a ton of credit. Mike Vrabel's an excellent head coach. I have zero regrets that the Bears chose Ben Johnson. In fact, I think they hit a home run.
Yeah, I think it is a home run.
And it's not just him, but you talk about McDaniels being his offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson's got Dennis Allen as his defensive coordinator. So, I think that Ben's not only the right guy, put together an excellent staff.
Yep.
The real Phil Simms is here. The real Phil Simms.
Okay.
He wants to know what will be the key to stopping Lamar Jackson if he indeed plays.
I'm sure the whole NFL wants to know that, but because he's dangerous, man. He's dangerous. He actually makes you. He's a headache for the defensive coordinator. He makes guys run man coverage because you need to gap out. You need to make sure you have somebody watching him at all times. It's a problem. And then he gets to throw the ball into man coverage. So open field tackling, I'll say. And we've seen this man in the open field. So good luck to us, right?
Listen, I think that most people don't understand how good a thrower of the football that Lamar is as well. Before he got hurt, he was completing 72% of his passes. He is consistently 65, 66, 67 completion rate. And he's a high-risk passer as well. And by that, I don't mean he throws it into trouble, but he does push the ball down the field. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think you try to contain him, you won't shut him down. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you just try to limit some of the explosives and be really disciplined with him, you take your chances and you try to win a shootout, I think is the best way to do it.
Who would you guys? Okay, so who are you taking? I hear this 72%. I hear Caleb's like 60%. From the 45-yard line going in, I have one person that I have to choose to hit the goalpost. Who am I taking? Caleb or Lamar Jackson?
You mean in terms of throwing a ball?
Yes, I'm going to win $10 million if this quarterback hits this goalpost. Who am I taking? I'm not taking Lamar. I don't care if he has 72% completion percentage. Like Caleb, okay, the completion percentage is overblown to me. That's what I think. I mean, I think Caleb's a much better quarterback throwing the football than Lamar, even though his completion percentage is lower. But I listen to us talk about it, and it's like, I don't really agree with that.
Okay. I struggle with Caleb's deep ball accuracy last year, and I don't think it's gotten a ton better. So I'm on the other side of that.
You would take Lamar.
I would take Lamar with regard to the deep. If you want to throw the 20-yard deep out or a 20-yard crosser, I probably would pick Caleb. But for the, if we're going 40, you said 45 yards?
Yeah, 45.
Can I just give you some numbers?
No, please, go ahead.
2024 Lamar Jackson, 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a passer rating of 119.6.
Okay, I'm going to give you a number. He should have won the MVP 3 times. He's won it twice.
He could have won it last year.
He should have won it last year, I think.
Josh Allen had an amazing year.
Having an amazing year don't mean that.
Yeah, but Lamar was the first-team All-Pro quarterback.
He was.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. But seeing Lamar play his best, the best in the league, he ain't sniffed the Super Bowl yet. So you're telling me he can play his best 3 years and they don't sniff the Super Bowl? He's not going to get one. He's not getting one. He's not getting to the Super Bowl. Ever. No, because there's a throw in the AFC Championship game that he has to make that he does not make every single time. Every time. The last time they played the Chiefs, he missed like 8 throws in that game. It's like you have one-on-one. It's like man coverage. You gotta make that throw. Can't do it. Now, and I watched him the first time he made the Pro Bowl, and they had that little test where he had to hit these little targets. Oh my gosh. Who was the left-handed receiver that came out with he came out with Odell Beckham at LSU. What's his name? Played at Cleveland. Receiver. What's his name? He played at Cleveland. God, but who is it? Landry. Landry beat him at that gauntlet throwing the ball. Landry's a receiver beat the quarterback? Get out of here, man. I don't buy it, man. I'm taking Caleb.
I told you I would take Lamar. Caleb hit Kool-Aid McKinstry in the face mask with a bang eight.
He did. Did you see that right over the middle? Bam.
Yeah. I mean, like, so.
Turned around like, what the hell?
Tom Brady's never done that. Peyton Manning's never done that. He never hit a quit. Never done that. Never. Get out of here.
No.
They've done it.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's done it.
Yes.
So you're telling me that if I said to you, I'll drop this guy healthy on your team right now.
Who, Lamar?
Lamar or Caleb?
Oh, okay. I think Caleb can. I'm taking Lamar. I'm just not expecting to win a Super Bowl. I'm not. I don't think he can win it.
Like, I'm glad Caleb's our
he
guy, but Lamar's numbers are stupid.
I don't care about numbers is numbers, man. Like, he's not gonna. I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't care what the number. If Caleb throws for 188 yards average and we win a Super Bowl, I'm good. Like, I don't care. I want to win the Super Bowl.
God bless. All right.
At that point, he's Trent Dilfer then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Trent's got a Super Bowl.
He does.
Brad Johnson's got a Super Bowl.
Jeff Hostetler.
Jeff Hostetler's got a Super Bowl.
That's right.
At the end of the day,
So what do you want?
the ring is the thing, right?
You want Dan Marino? That's what you want, huh? You want Dan Marino?
I want to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. There we go. Perfect. My guy.
Our Special Olympics Illinois special teams play of the game. Jake Moody, a perfect 4 for 4 in field goals. When voices tell us you can't or you won't, we simply say, I did. Special Olympics Illinois. So I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Ryan McGuffey and I will be at the Special Olympics Gala this weekend at the Garrity. Really looking forward to honoring some tremendous athletes. Okay, Jake Moody.
Unbelievable.
Cairo Santos. What are you doing?
Unbelievable. Come on. I'm sorry. I am immediately healthy after the first time he had the game winner. I'm healthy. All right, coach, I'm good. Coach, I'm good.
Leg feels a whole lot better.
Well, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. A little Toradol, I'm out. Like, bro, you cannot sit out. This is, what's the guy? Baseball, everybody know. Wally Pimp. It's the whole story again. Like, you can't do that. You can't give a guy. And that's part of the reason why I took pride in, like, being there all the time, because the guy behind me may have been better than me, but coach is never going to see him. I'm going to be there every day, every practice, every game.
Playing my tail off.
I'm telling you, he's going to get limited reps because I don't want to lose my job. Yeah, he's probably going to lose his job.
What would you do?
I don't care. It's kicker. You know, I mean, like, it's not my specialty. I would rely on the coach.
Let me ask you this.
Listen, I respect Cairo Santos' accuracy. Doesn't have the biggest, like, look, Jake Moody has stepped in and hit what? 8 of 9?
He was 4 of 5 and 4 of 4.
So 8 of 9.
One block, though.
One was blocked.
Right.
And that sticks with me because he was 16 of 29 from 40 and out in 2 years with the 49ers. And I watch a lot of 49ers football because, you know, I'm a
Shanaphile.
I'm a Shanaphile. I love watching him call games. And I have a lot of, like, PTSD watching Jake Moody kick the ball into the asses of his own teammates or missing the uprights. And listen, a lot of kickers in. I think Cairo's, had a very good career, and this isn't his first stop. I get it. That's the way it is. I have kicker nightmares. I just do. So
let me ask you.
You choose the guy who you think's going to be the most accurate, and we'll be fine.
So let me ask you a question. If I told you he was available in a trade, or you could draft him, what capital would you give up for Brandon Aubrey? Don't tell me you wouldn't. That guy makes them from 70 yards. He is a weapon.
And so would another 23-year-old failed soccer player. Go get one.
Well, go find one.
Yeah, that's it. Go find one.
Did you saw the kid that stepped in for McManus for the Packers hit a 65 or 61 yarder this weekend. I didn't even know his name.
I would not get a kick. I wouldn't get a kicker. I would get soccer players. Son, did you play soccer until you was about 14? If not, I'm moving on. Go get a soccer player that wants to play football, that gives up. Athleticism just isn't there for soccer. All right, but you can kick. Let's go, because this is what this position is going to.
So, Cap, what would you do? If you go with Jake Moody, what if he reverts back to the form that got him cut with the San Francisco 49ers? Right. Or do you go with Cairo because he's got a bit of an injury that may bark later in the year? So you ask me, I don't have access to how badly Cairo's hurt. I like his accuracy. He doesn't have a very strong leg.
But he did beat the Chiefs in the preseason with a 59-yarder.
That's preseason. I get it.
It's still 59 yards.
Yeah. It's humid. It's summertime.
Your body feels better.
But it's still 59 yards. I get it. But he's not known as a guy with a big leg. That's just reality.
He's not.
So I listen, I don't have a good answer.
But if I get into a playoff game like they did in 2018, Mitch brings him down the field. I was just watching an interview.
Don't tell me you was watching that game again.
I watched an interview with Doug Peterson was on PMT, pardon my take, from Barstool. And Big Cat asks him, tell me about the double doink game. He said, oh, God. He said, Mitch Trubisky was dealing. He takes us right down the field. He throws for 315 yards. He said in the last drive, we're like, oh, man, you see the back shoulder throw? He just said Allen Robinson, takes him right down the field. He said, and somebody on his staff said to him, Coach, right before he kicks, take a timeout. We have him charted. He's 95% if you don't take a timeout making kicks, Cody Parkey. And after a timeout, he's 58%. Let's take a shot here.
Get out of here.
Yes. And he told
here.
that to Barstool Big Cat. And he said, we took the timeout. And one of my guys said, he barely made that one. Because he kicked it right at the timeout. He said, he'll miss this. And sure enough, he double doinked it. Yes. That is Doug Peterson on Pardon My Take.
Wow.
That was sick to my stomach.
That defense was Super Bowl caliber, too.
It was. And they would have gone, I think the next game was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And if they won that, they would have gone to the Rams. And they'd already
they had a good path.
See, y'all, okay, thank you. See, they would have made it to the Super Bowl had they made that field goal. That is absurd.
Yeah, that's a reach.
They had a chance.
They had a good path.
Well, everybody got a chance. As long as you keep winning, you got a chance. But no, bro, they didn't make the field goal. And they're not Super Bowl caliber. They didn't touch the Super Bowl. Hell, they ain't get to the NFC Championship game. No. Nope. I ain't buying it.
That was still a sick loss.
So which kicker are you choosing?
I'm going
Moody.
If healthy, I'm going back to Cairo.
Go Moody, man. Moody's a third-round pick. He has the talent. The talent's there. If he's in a good space, the talent's there, man. Somebody else just spent a third-round pick on him. You didn't. So you spent a fourth-round pick on a damn punter. So
he's looked really good this year.
No. If he's not the best punter in the league,
I
got a problem.
I know it just drives him nuts.
It drives me nuts. I hate it. I'm a fourth-round pick. Y'all be talking about fourth-round picks like they're just, let's go get a punter. We're good.
Fourth leading sacker in Bears history.
I know.
That's what you can get from the fourth round.
That's value.
And we got a punt. Thank you.
That's
value. I love Waddle, man.
He's the best. Our vertical catch of the game, vertical in business. It's 1985, Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleaning, masonry work, gas logs. They came to my house after the fire department was out there because we had a big issue with our chimney and our fireplace. And guess what? They got it all straightened out. Now I have a remote control. I get a gas log, I get heat, and I don't have to worry about a fire. VerticalChimney.com. Again, vertical in business. since 1985, verticalchimney.com. It's Chris Olave's 58-yard post on the TD drive right before the half. He left Tyreek Stevenson looking like he was running like me. What'd you think of that route?
Olave's got sprinter speed. And again, when you play as much man as they were having to play because you couldn't generate pressure with your front four, you're going to get beat. Like, I think Tyreek's had a really good year. But, you know, I mean, he was – I'll give Tyreek credit for this. He hustled through the play and actually got him down. Despite being beaten badly, he didn't quit on the play and forced them to actually go the additional 15 or 20 yards, whatever it was.
Right, they scored on another pass to Olave. What'd you think?
He's a super talented player, you know. And he's a first-round pick.
He went to the best football program in America, Ohio State University.
Ohio State. Being a Florida guy. So you stop it. Stop. They don't put out some receivers, but most of those receivers are having to overcome bad quarterback play too. So Arizona, the Jets with Wilson, Olave, but Olave's a really good player. He's having to overcome bad play at the quarterback position. He's a true number one receiver in my opinion. Yeah. Yes, he's gonna beat you sometimes. He is a number one, you know.
All right, last couple things. We'll get your predictions in a minute. The owner of the New York Jets came out today and basically drove a bus over Justin Fields, backed it up, and drove it again and parked it on top of him. And they're going to go with Tyrod Taylor.
Wow.
Justin's going to get benched. Justin's press conference was a little different the other day. It was all about the Lord's plan and all this. I'm like, brother, you're making $20 million a year, 30 guaranteed. They expect a little productivity. He looks awful at the quarterback job. Woody Johnson came out and said, be nice if we could complete a pass. Like, I mean, wow. When the owner's firing on you, can you believe we had a civil war in this town for like 3 months? We've got to keep Justin and trade the pick. Oh, God.
It wasn't me. It was not me.
No, the cult out there.
Yeah, it's like
the Justin cult.
Now somebody else is saying
it's
the same thing.
It's not our issue any longer, Cap.
Thank goodness.
It's not our issue anymore.
No.
Thank goodness.
I wish the kid well.
Over.
He worked hard.
He's a good
kid.
He's just a lousy quarterback.
Not lousy. This is the NFL. And you don't have 4 NFL number one receivers running against Northwestern, Indiana,
Purdue
corners, Purdue. Like, stop it. Iowa. Like, come on. Like, those aren't, they're not like just putting out
with 5 All-Americans in front of you.
Seriously.
Right.
Yes. The degree of difficulty went up significantly.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it was going to change. And unfortunately for him, I mean, he hasn't been able to adjust to it. Hopefully, he gets to a place. I think I said this before. I don't see how he ends up at the Jets and not Baltimore. An offense that he should be in.
He should be the backup in Baltimore.
And they went and got Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Like that is completely the opposite of the quarterback.
I've always believed that your backup should be a reasonable facsimile of your starter.
Yes.
So you can keep the system the same.
I think so. I really believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, one thing before I get your picks and we'll get everybody out of here. I was texting with my friend Tyson Bagent right before I walked in here. His girlfriend gave birth to their first child last night. Wow. Super cool. They had a little daughter.
What's her name?
Alex. Her name is Lenny June Bagent. 21 and a half inches, 9 pounds, 3 ounces, 8:30 p.m. last night. Peyton and Tyson are the
Congratulations.
parents. So I was texting with Tyson.
Awesome.
He's like, this is amazing, man. And then his next text to me, how about our guy Ben Johnson? Love this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all football.
Football mode.
All right. The middle name is June?
Yeah.
Oh, I was born in June. Okay, so I knew he was thinking about me.
June what?
Yeah, June 4th.
Wow, nice.
I'm a Gemini.
You're a Gemini.
Yeah.
Like my
I'm kind of the same person though.
My dad.
Oh, really?
Was a Gemini.
Your dad's
June
a great
20.
guy?
June 20th. He was the best.
See? I'm
There
right
you go.
there. Parallel.
All right, Tommy Waddle. Look into the camera and tell us what's going to happen Sunday.
I think this is a really tough spot. I think the Baltimore Ravens are probably the most desperate team in the league right now. They have a ton of pedigree, as I mentioned earlier. They've averaged 12 wins a season the last 3 years. They've been in the postseason 6 of the last 7 years. They're well coached. They've got a lot of talent. They got to win this game or their season's probably over. So I think they'll hold serve. I think the Bears will score points. I'll say Ravens 27-24.
Oh, I like that. And I got the opposite. I think the Bears beat them. I understand being desperate. Guys coming back. I believe guys show up in desperate times, and they're 82%. They're not ready for the actual game. They're not ready to come back and be the Pro Bowler that they are. And I'm speaking on the defense. That defense was shredded by injuries. I think they're coming back because they need them to come back, not necessarily because they're ready. I think we win the game. I really do. I think we're better, a more talented team. I don't. I think because of the circumstances, I think we do beat them, but it has a lot to do with the injuries, though.
Love to see him get their 5th consecutive game. It would be super cool. Guys, thank you for being here.
Yeah, good to see you.
Greatly appreciate you. Tommy Waddle,
My man.
you're the man.
My man.
Thanks to all of you coming out here to Hooters in Orland Park. Our next appearance will be, I believe, Hooters in Downers Grove. Oh, Melrose Park. We'll be in November 11th, Melrose Park, Hooters. Thank you all for being here. I just talk, man. They do everything else.
Studio 41 Football Recap Live is brought to you by Studio 41 Home Design Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Vertical, in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. Verticalchimney.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Hooters. At Hooters, originality isn't just one thing, it's everything. World-famous wings and more, served up by the iconic Hooters girl. Hooters, always original. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper today at a McDonald's near you. Special Olympics Illinois. Special Olympics Illinois, so I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Apt. For the best appliances for football season, shop at Apt. Pleasing people since 1936. Find them at apt.com. 4 Seasons, heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. For all the right reasons, 4 Seasons.
Our family had been talking about redoing the kitchen for a long time. Studio 41 had all the pieces I wanted.
With Studio 41, we found their prices competitive. They helped us stay on budget.
They spent a lot of time with me in the studio, and I got to touch and feel things.
Our big fear was if you go online, who's standing behind the product? Studio 41 had the best selection, and they took her ideas and brought it to life.
It was everything I dreamed it could be.
Visit studio41.com to find a showroom near you.
Okay, we're just here for dishwashers.
Just a dishwasher.